All right, guys, welcome back to My World 67. This is G-Man, and what I have here is those Pagoda cars. I think I showed them to you in a previous video when I first started them. They were completely covered with rust, really kind of beat up a little bit. And what we did was we soaked these for like 3 or 4 hours in some vinegar and water solution, 50-50. And it that way it didn't eat the paint up, but it removed the rust off of them. And these were once, when they were new, these were the dark Chinese red cars. And they're still a dark color car, but, but because of time and age and the rust that was on them, they're faded. The good thing about the vinegar process is that it cleaned them. It did not damage the paint itself. So the paint was still there. The paint's still good. If we would have used a full 5% solution with no water, then it probably would have removed the graphics on it, even in a 2 to 3 hour period. But fortunately, the graphics are just as strong, just as good as they were before we did that. Now notice this here car is the Montclair car. And I don't know whether you can see that or not. All right. And whereas it shows wear, shows that it's been played with, all the graphics, like I say, are pretty much still good. We hadn't had to do any touch up necessarily on it. The only thing we did was clean it down, get it real cleaned up, rinsed off real good, got it good and dried out. There's still a little bit of light rust on the inside, and that would be normal for any tin car or a steel car from this age period that was not kept well, not wrapped up well, not preserved well, and kept in anywhere that was a humus climate, and where the temperature was not climate controlled constantly. I've seen some of these cars that have really been good. They've been a lot better, but they were well kept. These were not. These were stored in somebody's basement or somebody's attic. They wasn't stored good at all. Looked like weather had gotten to them. And so that's just the way it was. And this is the Pagoda car, and it's pretty much like the other one. You can still read it says Pagoda down there, Pullman. And the graphics are not bad. I mean, it's readable. And even when they're writing down the layout on their shells, on their frames, it's going to look pretty good. One of these days we'll get another set that shine up better and look better, but for right now, these have served their purpose. It's just pretty neat to have something old like this that you can still get up going and make it run again. And it looks decent. Now what we did do on these, we took clear spray after we were all done, and we sprayed them down. As the paint on these was very thin, it was faded even though we didn't lose any paint to rust. Fortunately, the cars were worn and the paint was thin. And so it was best to shoot them with a little clear paint, a little clear acrylic, and that clear acrylic preserves the paint that's left. We don't have to worry about it fading too much more. We don't have to worry about it peeling or chipping off. It's sealed and it's good to go. The inside of this car came out pretty clean. A little bit of rust on there, but not a whole lot. What we're going to do this evening, real quickly, we have here the wheels, and we're going to, which also were soaked in vinegar water for straight vinegar for 24 hours. These wheels were just crusty, rusty. The axles, crusty, rusty. I hadn't seen anything that bad in a long time. one of the worst sets of wheels and axles that I've seen. And 24 hours vinegar and water, and you see this wheel here on the back side of it, it's still got just a little bit of rust. And if that bothers you, just take you a little piece of wet and dry sandpaper, 380, 400 grit. Just take it, rub the back side of it lightly, and that will come right off. And if I can get this to stand up for me a minute. And I can't get it to do it. But you just take that and you just wipe the back side of it lightly. Just rub it for a little bit. Doesn't take a lot of work. And that'll come clean. You see, that's just with me doing it right here. That's starting to, let me show you. That's starting to come off. It's just surface rust. Sometimes you can even just wet your cloth and go over it with a wet cloth, and that'll come right off. Okay, so as I said, what we're about to do is reassemble the frames, put the bodies back on the frames, put on our couplers, and this has the old style couplers. When we're talking pre-war, we're talking pre-war for real. Pre-war Marx. The hole and hook coupler. Wow. And we're going to do that now. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we go. Hope you can see me in the camera here. What we're doing, we're putting the wheels back on the axles. Now, when I got these, there was only one complete set of wheels on them. And so we're only going to be able to complete tonight one set. Oddly enough, they had two different size axles in these. So you take the wheels and then you just brace them into the holes on your frame. You have to spread it apart just a little bit to get the other one in there. Well, okay. As I said, oddly enough, there was two different size axles. me just a sec. I just happen to have here another set of wheels that I cleaned. They also have the big axles. Which is just really odd. Now they came out of there. So you have to ask the question, why won't they go back in? Sometimes they're just being a little stubborn. So you got to kind of work them back in there a little bit. There we go. All right. These are really different. These couplers don't sit down this way. They sit up like this. They hook right there, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing, to keep them from going back and forth and dropping out. If anybody knows of a different way or a better way to work these couplers, please let me know. I examined them this way, thought, oh yeah, that's going to work that way. No, they don't go like that. They go just exactly how they came out, and that's just like that. It's kind of strange, but that's the way Marx made them. All right, now we'll take a shell, We'll put the shell on. These tabs, it's just a matter of getting them lined up. Once you line them up, they'll generally go back on. Now, look, let me show you something. These bodies have an insert on each end for that coupler. And just maybe, if you stick the coupler in like this, and you push it all the way back, and you pull it in that slot, it'll stay there. Like that. If it goes back too far, it's still going to fall out of there. Kind of a weird design, I know. That's the way Marx made them. Now, on these tabs, there's a couple of ways you can do those. And I don't have my needle nose pliers here with me, so I'm going to have to use these tonight. You can bend them over flat, or you can take and twist them. Tonight, for all purposes, we're just going to bend them over flat. There's only 4 tabs per car, so sometimes you have to get a little flat screwdriver. Take the screwdriver. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Bend over. And you're done. Stick your other tab in. Push it all the way back. It show itself right there. Take your little screwdriver, get hold of it. Sometimes they're a little tighter than other times because this piece right here sometimes is bent a little tighter on one coupler than it is another. Sometimes you have to adjust that before you put it in. I didn't check it tonight. So it takes a little bit of work. Get it back up where it's supposed to be. No damage. You didn't bend nothing up. Coupler on both ends. And you're ready to go. We're going to put this other one together. But as I said, we don't have all the wheels for it tonight. I can use these wheels, but these wheels actually go on my 6000. And so I don't want to use those on this project. Yeah, we're going to have to work those back down in those holes also. Again, some reason or another, they're a little large. Work great on the 6,000 wheels. A little tight on these for some reason or another. But we'll work that out and get them back on and get it going. Now, what you can also do in the event, if you don't have tires, I keep those old plastic battery operated trains. I try to keep parts for those around because you can always use those and make them serviceable. And you can always use parts off of them. Now what we have here is these little plastic wheels. And we can take these plastic wheels, if you don't mind not having everything to be original for your pre-war cars or whatever cars you're working on. If you're four-wheel cars, you can use these. Now, what you would have to do is widen out these holes because these cars, the ends on these are so much larger. But you can widen out the holes, put these on, and you're in business. And we're going to finish this up at a later date. Just wanted to share that with you. Quick video, took a little longer than I intended on it tonight. But there you are. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.